Without mobility, without being able to go anywhere freely, you are a prisoner.
You being stuck at home turns into a situation where you have suicide, depression. My life doesn't mean anything when your life actually means a lot.
Transportation options are limited, and there's individuals out there that are ready to go out, venture out into the world, but they need those options, and so they're desperately looking for avenues for that.
Because I've called taxis, I've called cabs, and even when they do arrive, they have these like makeshift fold-out ramps that are not welded or, you know, drilled into the frames, so they could just fall out and you go right with it.
When I travel to New York or big cities, I try to take Uber and Lyft, and they leave me on the curb.
If I have a scheduled ride with paratransit, it's like if I miss that, then I'm stuck for a few hours, or I have to maybe call a taxi and have an accessible taxi. But me, being such a large individual, 6'6",
Get it.
it's hard for me to really get into various different modified vehicles because of my size.
The biggest issue I've faced is more so with reliability. Being able to know that the right vehicle is going to pick me up and also going to bring me back home.
We don't all live on the sidewalk, you know, because it's technically curb-to-curb service, but we don't live in front of if you live in a condo with like 20 buildings, where access can pick you up, it would take a good 10 minutes just to get down to where you needed to be.
I've had some nightmare scenarios where, I was picked up fine, but then, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm still waiting for a ride home.
So I'm sitting on a sidewalk at almost 2 a.m. in Hollywood, not in the best area, and I don't know how I'm gonna get home. And so I ended up calling the company, asking them where they are, and they stated that they ran out of vehicles.
Being a quadriplegic, there's medical considerations that I have to be aware of. It becomes more of a safety thing, honestly. So it's more than just inconvenience.
When I actually get off of the bus and I cross the street, I'm not on the sidewalk. I'm actually in the gutter of the road. So cars are just flying by me because I'm right on Olympic. And I'm just thinking in my head, like, please just let them be paying attention, not looking down at their phone. Because if they slowly just go off, they're just gonna clip me and then that's it.
I'm talking about 3 transfers in rain, in sidewalks that are dilapidated when it's wet and I'm slipping and sliding all over the place. And if I have to wait for a bus or a train and those spaces are occupied, we are left behind.
The thing with accessibility nowadays for folks with disabilities is when you make a ride, you have to pad it with so much time because you just don't know if they're going to show up, if you're going to be left stranded.
I want my time back. I want everyone to have their time because we all possess an amazing amount of gifts and fire of something we're passionate for. And if we could have that time, given back to us, we could do so much more. Having an affordable vehicle, yes, access is affordable, but it's not great with time constraints. And we live a life full of stress because we worry about the things that have already happened. They're not what ifs, they've already happened to us. There are realities.
So the best thing that would change my life is to be able to just wake up and to make a call that morning and say, you know what, I don't feel well. I think I need to see my doctor today. Or, you know what, I feel like having dinner tonight with my honey. So can I just call them today instead of the night prior? And that would be such a game changer and make my life so much more just better in the sense of a better quality of life and feel normal instead of having to call a night before or being worried that someone's gonna leave me if I don't come out in 5 minutes and they're gonna be gone and I'm stranded for an hour and a half.
I really think that we're really driving home the need for accessible, affordable transportation, whether it's a Lyft, Uber situation, on-demand situation. The affordability of our vehicle and transportation is so important.
Because we call it the hidden disability tax.
Yes.
Nobody's going to say that, but that's what it is. If I need a new vehicle right now, retrofitted the way I want it, it'll be at least $80,000. And I'm like, where do you think we get this money from? I'm fortunate enough to have a revenue stream. But what about those who don't have that? You know, and I think about them, I'm like, they would never, ever able to buy a modified vehicle.
Because with my dexterity, I'm not able to use the controls that they use, and I need a joystick, which the joystick apparatus, that costs $150,000.
The tax on us, you know, it's literally adding insult to injury. You know, hey, you're not gonna walk, you're not gonna pee on your own, you're not gonna have relations on your own, you're gonna have to beg, borrow, and steal for everything you need in your life. But in addition to that, we're gonna charge you more for everything.
I personally would like for them to take whatever that they decide to come up with and get in a wheelchair and see if they can deal with it. Have someone on board that whenever they're creating something, have someone that has a disability to go ahead and use them as maybe a consultant. It's all about perspective. Once you see it from our perspective, then you make that change. Why not make the change in the creation?
Every single company that does something for the disabled community should have an accessibility liaison who is part of the disabled community. Hearing, vision, motor. They should have a council that they can go to and talk and find out if things are going to work. And also even the affordability of it. Let's get rid of that disability tax.
People don't feel it or see it because they're not in our physical situation. But I think it's really important for folks to understand that this isn't an us-you problem, it's an us problem. Because everybody will be disabled someday, and everybody will have to deal with these challenges. And you don't know when it's gonna happen. You might age into it, or like most of this table, you might have a horrible accident that causes you to need these services. So I just want them to be more accessible and affordable for everyone.
If I can't transfer into my 6-way seat, or if my car breaks down, I need a backup option. You know, I need to have some type of paratransit so that I can go work and I can do all the lifestyle things that I do because I'm busy.
And I felt it today that Butterfly is listening and going to definitely try to make those adjustments to make our life a better life.
And knowing that the Hyundai Motor Group, Enable LA, and Butterfly are really on your side to try to make transportation more accessible, more freeing, you feel more alive again. You feel like I can do these things. I can go back to school. I can go back to work and not worry about being late. My life is mine again.